Hello my dear friends, this is Grace and welcome to my channel and welcome to the video number 3 for our scrapbook embellishment mini series that I am doing here on YouTube. This is again my third video, and if you want to see the rest of the layouts that I had or the videos that I posted so far for this particular mini series, I encourage you to check out the playlist on my YouTube channel. So with this one I wanted to focus on brads and buttons and things like that. And so my idea for adding them would be to add them kind of in a triangle slash kind of arrow going in towards inside my layout. So I know I'm not explaining that right, but I'll just show you what I'm going to be doing here. So I'm starting off with a gray cardstock. It's a really dark gray. It's close to black cardstock, and I've gutted the inside of that. And then I've also used a plaid kind of red orange paper as my background piece, and I trimmed that out so that you can see a little bit of the cardstock on the edges. And then I'm creating some triangles with this pattern paper with stars, and I'm just trying to figure out how I'm going to put the other, because I've just kind of cut the first one, and so I'm just kind of figuring out how to add the other triangle for the right side. So I'm going to put that on like so, and then I have two photos. They're two 3x4 photos. Actually, the picture of my children, it's a little bit skinnier because if I were to put that photo on a 3x4 canvas, it will cut off the edges of it. It will cut off a big chunk of my son's photo. So I decided to make that skinnier so that it will fit in the space of all my children. So because I have gutted the cardstock base for this, I use the inside of that, or the gutted piece, as my matting for my photos. So I'm just doing that here, and I'm just trimming off the excess. And so I like doing this, especially when I gut my cardstock background, because then I know that the mat that I'm using for my photos match some of my my other elements on my layout. Now that Celebrate title, that's just cut out from my silhouette, and I used, I think it's Magnolia Sky for the title for that. I usually cut out a bunch of just, I don't want to say random, but a generic type of words that would work for a lot of different kinds of layouts. So like my generic titles would be Celebrate, or Family, or Together, or Happy, things of that nature. And so I would cut a bunch of that, and I would use that on my layouts when I remember to use them. I haven't used them in a while because I've forgotten that I haven't, but I thought that would be a good title. I will mix that with some letter stickers later on, but I'm going to put that there just for placement, just to see where my title will live for this particular layout. And so now I am onto the embellishments, because this is a mini series that focuses on embellishments. That's basically what I spend a lot of my time with. And so as you can see, this is the kind of crafter I am. I just dump things on the sides of my layouts because I that's what I do. I just dump them. So I have little piles of buttons here, little piles of brads, things of that nature. So I'm just showing you how I'm going to be doing this. At first, I was kind of laying them out just to see where they're going to kind of live. And then I would punch a hole on my layout with just my paper piercer and this foam tool, and then add them there. So as you can see, I just kind of move things around. I try to sprinkle, like I don't put a brad next to each other if I can, and if they are two of this, if they're brads, they should be kind of different in design and in style and in size. So I'm kind of spreading them around. My plan is that I would go with the big ones first because they occupy a lot of space on your layout. So I'm going to do the big ones first, and then with the kind of tiny spaces that's left over, that's where I'm going to add my smaller embellishments, smaller brads or smaller buttons if I have any. And so that's basically what I'm going to be doing here. I'm going to be switching from one triangle to another, trying to make sure that the colors are evenly distributed between the two spaces, and then I have enough like difference of, or variations I should say, of embellishments, of elements on this layout. So let's talk about a little bit. Let's talk a little bit about the photos. So these photos, again, they're just 2 3x4 photos, and they're just photos of my kids eating some Baskin-Robbins ice cream. So one of our favorite summer things to do is, as you can see or as you have seen in my previous layout, we do the 7-Eleven Slurpees, but we also do Baskin-Robbins. In July, we have 2 birthdays in our family. We have my birthday and we have my oldest son's birthday. And if you know Baskin-Robbins, if you sign up for their birthday, you get a free scoop of ice cream on your birthday month. And so that's what we did. Now, when I only had 2 kids, it was perfect because the kids would have both of the free ice creams, and I wouldn't have any ice cream just because, ice cream stays in my gut for longer than I wish it would. So I don't usually have ice cream. But then when I had my 3rd kid, so now I ended up having to buy an ice cream scoop, and that's totally fine. Having to buy 1 or 2 ice cream scoops is better than having to buy 4. So yeah, I know I'm cheap that way. I like free things, and I like these kinds of things where we can go out and enjoy the summer but not having to spend a lot of money. So I almost always take pictures of this because that's kind of a yearly tradition for us when it comes to summertime. I don't know if we're going to be able to, I think we would be able to get our Baskin-Robbins unless they're closed. But yeah, so that's the pictures, and I just took pictures of our scoops of ice creams, and of course my kiddos when they're enjoying their ice cream. So another thing that I have been doing for this mini series is telling you how many scrapbook embellishments I use for each layout. So for this particular layout, I was able to use 47. Yes, 47 buttons. That's a combination of buttons and brads and other little things that I add here. Of course, I do not count my titles and my letter stickers and all that, because that's not a scrapbook embellishment to me. So I was able to add 47 of them here. So if you're looking for an idea of how to use up your stash of brads or buttons or any other circular type of embellishment, you might want to try this design, because this was really fun. And you can even add a lot more photos on this layout, more than what I have added. I only added 2, but as you can see, there's a lot of space to add a few more smaller photos here. I'm guessing you can at least add 2 or 3 more photos here, and then just move your title and your journaling somewhere else. So as you can see, speaking of titles, I have finished my title here. I added that celebrate, and I just used some liquid spray adhesive for that, because it has skinny spaces on there. So I just like using my liquid adhesive to add those kinds of titles. And then I used some smaller green stickers. They're kind of translucent. I believe they are El Studio type of, or maybe they're freckled font. I can't remember, but one of those companies. And I had enough letters to spell out with ice cream on there. So that's my title, Celebrate with Ice Cream. And then I added my pre-printed journaling on the bottom of that. And so that would be done. My titles and my photos and my journaling are all on the layout. And so now I'm just doing or adding my embellishments. And I had a lot of fun with this mini series. I have to say, this is one of my favorite mini series that I've done here in my channel. And as I've told you before, that I have done a few of them. So again, if you are interested, make sure that you check out the description box below for, oh no, not description box, but check out my channel for the playlist for the rest of my mini series. So that's basically my layout. I'm finishing this off with, I did find some like dot thickers here. I think that's part of like a pack with some titles on there, and I added that there just because they're the perfect size. So I am looking for, oh, I found a heart thickers one, and so that will finish it up. Oh, one more thing that I was going to say with this layout was I felt like the center was kind of missing something, and so that's where I'm going to pull out some enamel dots, and I'm just going to add 3 in 2 different a grouping of 3 in 2 different spots in my layout, and that will be it. There are some still shots after this, and again, if you like these videos, please consider giving it a thumbs up and subscribing, and make sure you hit that bell button so you won't miss my next video that I will be posting after this. And I will catch you guys another day. Bye.